the main event of the evening, Brian. This was for the TNT title, not the Ring of Honor TV title too, but just the TNT belt. Samoa Joe had them both. And Darby Allin is a hometown hero there also. When did Washington State come up with so many wrestlers in the business? But so much wrong here. So it's his big return to his hometown, Seattle, and I guess it's his gimmick, but he skateboards to the ring wearing a homeless bum's dirty coat, blue jean shorts, and ballet leggings. That's our Darby. Here comes Joe. He's got the Ring of Honor TV belt and the TNT belt. He calls himself the king of television now. And remember, just last week, not only did he kneecap Wardlow with a lead pipe, but then he beat Wardlow flat in the middle, 1, 2, 3 in the ring. Then he stood up and looked at Wardlow and fucking smacked him in the face with a title belt, and then he cut Wardlow's hair off. That's what Samoa Joe did last week, right? Thank God Darby Allin was there to make us a save for his little buddy Wardlow last week, or it could have even been worse. But Darby hit Joe with the skateboard one time, and Joe took off. So, in this instance, on this television program, Nick Wayne, who is the son of Buddy Wayne, not the Memphis Buddy Wayne, but a Buddy Wayne from the Northwest who is a wrestler, passed away not long ago, and Nick Wayne is his son and has broken in and is wrestling also. He's in the front row watching his friend Darby Allin. So, of course, the heel comes out, snatches Nick Wayne by the neck. Samoa Joe does. He's going to fucking do whatever, and Darby dives out of the ring and blisters Joe with one of those dives, just bounces off of him. Looks great, and to his head, to the floor, Darby, by the way. Okay, that'd be a great way to jumpstart this fucking match. I'm with it. But they don't start the match there. Darby gets on Joe. He's a fucking behemoth, twice the size of Darby Allin. Darby beats him up the aisleway with the skateboard. They go out into the crowd by the stage. He comes off the stage with the skateboard on Joe's back. Explain to me the goddamn sense. You have a club in your hand, and the guy you're mad at is in front of you, but you don't hit him over the head with it repeatedly. You get up on the stage, jump off, and skateboard off his back. And then Darby Allin gets a ladder and sets it up on the ramp and cannonballs off the top of it and where he did a forward flip, and Joe's standing there underneath him, and he hit Joe's shoulders, Darby did, with his ass, rolled off of Joe's back and landed on the ramp with his left leg folded up underneath him, and immediately sold it big. But within 30 seconds, it switched over to selling the right leg. So I don't know what the fuck was going on there, because it looked like he broke his leg. He very well could. If he didn't have no ligaments and rubber band tendons, he would have broken his leg. But then they get into the ring, and the referee rings the bell to start the match. Now I'm already not interested in this goddamn match. I like Samoa Joe, and I will tolerate Darby Allin in certain circumstances. But I don't give a shit what they do now, because they've just killed the whole thing by doing all the big stuff first. I've eaten my steak. Send back the salad and the fucking broccoli. I'm not hungry anymore. So they ring the bell to start the match and immediately go back out to the floor. And Samoa Joe rock bottoms Darby Allin on the metal stairs for a break spot. Now, bear in mind, this dumb shit has already dived headfirst out of the ring into Samoa Joe, bounced off and landed on the floor. He's come off a fucking top of a ladder onto the entrance ramp and taken most of the bump because nothing harmed Joe out of that. He's been rock bottomed on the metal ring stairs.
That looked awful. I mean, not awful like it looked bad, but it looked like it really hurt him. That looked
yes.
really bad.
So they came back from the break. I had gone to get a Sprite, and I quit actually paying any attention. And I was reviewing some of the emails that we read at the top of this program. And finally, they did a bunch more shit to Darby Allin. And after everything else that had been done to him, the 300-plus pound Samoa Joe got Darby Allin, 150 pounds if he's lucky, in a rear naked choke on the ground. And Darby Allin fought up with Joe hanging around his neck, ran forward and ran Joe into the turnbuckle to break the choke, hit his leaping sunset flippy thingy that he calls his code red, and a coffin drop, and then went up to the top and hit another coffin drop. 1, 2, 3. Over Samoa Joe. And again, not even a built-up finish that came out of nowhere, where a resourceful babyface capitalizes on a mistake that the giant heel made, or a Hail Mary, or a lucky shot. He got up out of the choke, just broke it, hit his move, then hit his finish, then hit his finish again, and then pinned him. And besides that, he pinned Samoa Joe. This 150-pound, emaciated, skinny, milquetoast-ish, as MJF says, wannabe school shooter, great character babyface. People like him. He's got charisma. He's got athletic ability. But this apparently means that he's the baddest man in the company. He's tougher than everybody because he just manhandled and pinned the guy that last week kneecapped, beat up, knocked out, and humiliated fucking Wardlow. Now, what kind of revenge is Wardlow going to get? Could they have brought Wardlow out in a wheelchair at ringside to say, hey, Darby, when you get finished, can you just butt fuck him for 5 minutes or so, but leave some for me? It wasn't a disputed finish.
No.
It wasn't a lucky finish. He just beat the fuck out of Samoa Joe and beat him.
Well, no, he beat him. He beat him. He did not beat the fuck out of him.
Well, he beat the fuck out of him at the end. He ran him into the turnbuckle. He hit a move. He hit another move. He hit another move, and he beat him. After Samoa Joe having beaten the teetotal fuck out of him through the whole match, which did nothing. So that means that Darby Allin can kick the shit out of Wardlow in like fucking, 2 minutes?
We'll see how much of Wardlow's power came from his hair.
But, no, because he got beat and punked out before he got his hair cut.
But we don't know how that'll affect things going further.
So now he can't beat Sky Blue, Wardlow, you're saying, now without the hair.
I don't know.
This was ridiculous. What in the world happened here? What? I'm not even saying don't put Darby Allin over in his goddamn hometown non-title match. Or somebody else. Why beat Samoa Joe when he's in the middle of this thing with Wardlow to just have this match and beat him flat by a guy half the size? Samoa Joe could have been in the main event mix. I don't think anymore, actually. But the way they were pushing him and getting him over and letting him talk and do his shit, he could have been in the main event mix here. Now, he stopped at Darby Allin's level, and Darby Allin has a level. We've known that. And it is as Sting's little buddy and as the quirky, underneath underdog baby face that fights up and has a chance against everybody but the top guys. But now that's been blown out of the water because now Samoa Joe has been subjugated to that level. And where the fuck this puts Wardlow, I have no idea. Again, to come back and get revenge on a corpse.
Do you have a problem with the finish and Darby getting the belt if Wardlow was at ringside and cost Samoa Joe the match?
No. Wouldn't have had a bit of a problem. Because that would have made sense. I would have had I would have had a problem with Darby fucking doing any goddamn major offensive moves after he had been rock bottomed by this giant Samoan beast on the goddamn steel stairs. They didn't have to do that. That's just Darby's goofiness and death wish. And that's guys that are doing jobs or trying to get heat, figuring, well, if he's stupid enough to take this bump, I'll give it to him. But no, if Wardlow had been there some way to foil Joe from cheating and allow Darby to come, and I'm not saying Wardlow should have gone out and knocked him out. The interfering babyface always comes out to make the odds equal or to right a wrong, not to give an unfair advantage. Heel goes to cheat a babyface, the second babyface runs down, prevents the cheating, and then the first babyface in the ring gets the win from behind or whatever. Now, sometimes if your babyface in the ring is a job guy and you're trying to shoot an angle where the fucking top heel got beat by a nobody, then the interfering babyface does the damage. But when everybody's being used to some description, the interfering babyface comes down, takes away the foreign object, nullifies the illegal advantage, restores the referee to the right place, just makes the playing field even, and the babyface in the match capitalizes on everything being even and surprising the heel who thought he was about to cheat or had an advantage. That's the way that works. Not that fucking hard to figure out. If the second babyface comes down and interferes and goddamn just raw fucks the fucking heel, then that makes the babyface in the match look somewhat bad. And it's still acceptable to do that if your babyface in your match is just really there as a bridge to get these other two guys involved, and especially if the heel has had heavy heat on the interfering babyface in the past. But it's much better for the heel to for the babyface to come down and just neutralize the advantage or right the wrong and let the resourceful young babyface pick up a quick one, as they used to say.
Is it being his hometown and having that moment and even having Sting there to hug him and be there with him?
Did Sting hug him? Because my DVR froze again.
Sting came out and hugged him and celebrated with him.
My DVR froze, so I didn't get to see the hug. Is what worth it?
Does all of that make it worth it to do something like this with Darby in his hometown?
Yes, but not this. Something like this, yes, but why this? Are there no workhouses, no prisons? I sound like Scrooge now, but was there nobody else that Darby Allin could get a nice win like that over besides Samoa Joe, who had so much potential, who'd been getting a coherent push for once, and who had just started establishing himself with the King of TV thing?
The promos, all of a sudden he's getting promo time on TV.
The promos, and now so that's a thing you run with for 3 months or so, and eventually, yes, he got the belt from Wardlow, didn't he? Right? So even if you didn't want to put it back on Wardlow, he would carry it while he's having this feud with Wardlow, and then whatever the fuck, like you said, Wardlow could cause him to lose it to somebody else, and that still doesn't end their issue, but at the same time, it's only been a few weeks, so what the fuck if nobody's going to remember it? It's not like the undefeated streak or the goddamn, longest reign or anything. You need time with these things. The king of television doesn't just be the king of TV for 3 weeks. It's ridiculous. So I don't know where any of these people are now.
Well, that was AEW Dynamite. I thought it's relatively a good episode. I've enjoyed AEW Dynamite for the last several weeks more than I have in the last several months.
I got a lot of problems with these people.